Today I fucked up by failing to inform my urologic surgeon that I'm hung. Obviously NSFW. Edit, since this went way over some of your heads, what follows is a style of humor called cringe humor. It is a very Canadian style of comedy. Everything about it is meant to be cringe-worthy. If you're cringing for any reason, mission accomplished. If you did not understand Schitt's Creek, this post is not for you. TL, Doctor at bottom. Edit, followed by a TL, Doctor of the TL, drive. It all started roughly 3 years ago. My relationship with my ex-lover had run stale due to varying issues that we were both at fault for. I was under a very high stress state due to my failing relationship as well as unstable employment, the local housing crisis, low wages not keeping up with inflation, some humans believing the world is flat, and so on. Fast forward to spring 2019, I began noticing abdominal and lower back pain as well as bloody urine. Being the ball of anxiety that I am and having never experienced a kidney stone before, I convinced myself that I was dying. My erratically moody and unsupportive ex remained unsupportive, deciding the best route of action from here was to form a secretive love connection with another man, increasing my stress level. They continued their secret love affair up until July of that year, when I walked in on them. My ex and I broke up immediately, but even after the breakup they continued to deny anything was going on between them. Update, they bought a house and have 3 cats together. Not that I care, our relationship wasn't fun anymore anyway, but call a spade a spade. Through both a CT scan and an ultrasound, thank you free Canadian healthcare, folded hands, my kidney stone was discovered. I was told by the doctors that it should pass on its own, just keep drinking lots of water and lemon juice. Over weeks the bloody urine eventually stopped and the pain subsided. Again, having never experiencing a kidney stone before, I assumed I had passed it and continued on my merry way, learning, healing, and growing from the toxic relationship with my ex. Fast forward to February 2021. The bloody urine returns, the abdominal and lower back pain is back with a vengeance. I become instantly aware that the kidney stone had not passed 2 years prior, as I'm doubled over in pain unable to get out of bed. Having no family doctor, I live in a small community in which family doctors accepting new patients are far and few between. I arranged a walk-in appointment at the local clinic. I explained to the doctor my symptoms and history of having a kidney stone and he orders me a CT scan. Again, thank you free Canadian healthcare, folded hands. The CT scan confirms what I already have a hunch of, my kidney stone is still present in my left kidney, has grown substantially in size, sitting at 6 by 12, and is approaching the ureter though it is too large to pass on its own. I am immediately referred to a urologist who informs me she will be my urologic surgeon for a procedure to remove the stone, ureteronoscopy, laser lithotripsy, and stone removal. Due to the remote, isolated nature of my employment, I got bumped to near the top of the surgery list, which I am so incredibly grateful for. Alone in the forest, doubling over in pain due to obstruction, unable to rationalize what to do, does not sound like a pleasant way to die. Before the procedure, I was given multiple opportunities to bring up any issues that might affect or interfere with the procedure. Do you have a heart condition? No. Do you have high blood pressure? No. Do you have a skin condition? Yes, psoriasis, but symptoms are pretty low right now. Is there anything else you feel we should know that might impact the surgery? I thought on this one for a while and debated whether or not the surgeon needed to know that my erect penis is substantially large. I mean, they were about to perform a procedure in which they would be entering my body through my penis up my urethra, into my bladder, up my left ureter and into my left kidney. Would having a large penis impact this procedure in any way? Suffering from high anxiety, I play all these scenes in my head of the surgeon cancelling my surgery because of me speaking inappropriately to her about my penis, so I decide it's unimportant information and withhold it. Oops. The procedure was yesterday and went rather well. Repetition for emphasis, I have no idea how I'd pay for this without Canadian Medicare. Folded hands. Full disclosure, it's as painful as you're probably thinking it is. Metric fuck tons of morphine and suppository opioids were necessary for me to stop wincing in pain as they woke me up. I wish this type of pain on very few people. Ahem. don't ever lie to me. While waking up, the nurses informed me that the surgeon placed a stent in my ureter to help the flow of urine, blood clots, and remaining stone dust. There is a string coming out the end of my penis that is attached to the stent. In 5 days, I am to take some ibuprofen and, a half hour later, pull on the string with a steady, gentle, continuous motion until the stent has fully been pulled out my penis. Judging from the amount of pain I'm in already, I don't foresee this being a very pleasant experience. I'll know more on Friday as I'm screaming in pain, pulling a stent out my dick hole. I pulled the hospital bed sheet off my body to inspect my penis. Sure enough, there's a string coming out the end of my urethra, taped to my shaft with a bit of slack. At this point I should have realized that, in the case of an erection, there was nowhere near enough slack in the string to prevent extreme pressure on the stent and possible premature pulling on the string. But that was the least of my concern at that moment. My bladder was uncomfortably full and I needed to empty it. Now, I tried to get out of the bed on my own, but quickly discovered how drugged up I was. Called for a nurse who seemed very apprehensive about allowing me to get out of bed. "You've had a lot of narcotics," were her exact words to try to convince me to stay in bed. But holy shit, my bladder. With dismay she walked me to the bathroom, stumble, where I soon discovered how the next week of urinating was going to play out. Have you ever had the pleasure of experiencing the pussy, pins and needles pain of urinating with chlamydia? If so, I empathize with you, really I do. But trying to urinate after a ureteronoscopy, laser lithotripsy, and stone removal procedure with a ureteral stent? Holy balls, dial that shitty chlamydia urinating up to an 11. Even on all these narcotics, the immense pain has me doubled over every time I need to piss. I cannot wait to pull this stent out on Friday. After choking down a couple digestive cookies, my mouth and throat were so dry from the breathing tube, and keeping water down, I was discharged with various prescriptions to assist the healing process. Upon arriving home, I warmed up a plate of leftovers, Thai chicken spring roll bowl, took a handful of painkillers, stool softeners, muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatories, and took a nap that turned into a sleep. Fast forward to 2 hours ago, 2 a.m. I'm abruptly awoken by excruciating pain. What the dickens is this bullshit? Oh my fucking shit, oh somebody kill me. I am hyperventilating, my skin is pale, I am full on panic attacking. There is the most absurd pain originating from my kidney, all the way down to the tip of my penis. My penis. I'm popping the most epic, proud, raging boner, and the string is pulled tight, and my muscles are contracting due to the pain, pulling on the stent. I turn on my bedside lamp to see the string deforming my erect stiffy, cutting into the end of my pee hole and pulling my erection down in the direction of the shaft tape. Fuck me sideways, my dick is a shepherd's crook. A large, agonizing cane handle. Full-on panic mode sets in as I fumble around, trying to find the end of the tape to release the pressure brought from Satan himself. Hyperventilating, panicking, and fumbling, I eventually get the tape unstuck and the string stops pulling on the stent. Fuck me with a chainsaw, I've discovered a new pain threshold. I inspect the damages, the end of my urethra is swollen and the string has pulled out some. I am in pain, holy fuck, get this baby out of me. I am in pain. I hobble down the stairs and to the bathroom where my painkillers are stored. I decide on a T3 because this shit right here calls for codeine. Time and a place, and this is certainly that time and place. I take deep breaths to calm my heart rate and then realize my bladder is full. No fucking way. You are noob. No, fuck you bladder, right now, shit, I eat it. Fuck nuggets. Anticipating a very painful piss due to the stent being shifted, I sit down and prepare for the worst. My fucking lanta, I was not prepared enough. My urine flow was nearly completely obstructed. Muscles were expanded, but nothing was coming out. Wailing in pain, unable to urinate, ready to die. All because I did not tell my surgeon I have a large penis. Luckily a blood clot eventually gave and a slow, bloody urine stream began to dribble. By the rings of Neptune, I'm pissing. Yes. Followed immediately by doubling over in pain. But yes, okay, this is good. Maybe the stent is still functional. It's now 5 a.m. I've had some painkillers, I'm wide awake laughing at how unbearably ridiculous this situation is. And now I get to be that guy who has to call my surgeon today to inform her that my large penis may have just dislodged the stent. Sorry I didn't tell you I'm hung sooner. Where do we go from here? Bo, drop the curtain. Oh fuck me, I have to pull it all the way out on Friday. TL, doctor, yesterday I went in for a ureteronoscopy, laser lithotripsy, and kidney stone removal surgical procedure. The surgeon left a ureteral stent in with a string taped to the end of my penis. I am to pull on the string to pull the stent out through my penis on Friday. The string is taped to my dick shaft with -lac. I didn't tell the surgeon that I have a substantially sized penis when erect, both a grower and a shower, and so the slack was not enough to sustain an erection. In the middle of the night I popped a raging boner that deformed my penis, think shepherd's crook, tore the end of my pee hole, and tugged on the stent. A new pain threshold has been discovered. I now get to be the guy who has to call the surgeon and explain to her that my raging erection may have just prematurely pulled the stent out of place and it might have to be pulled out prematurely. TL, doctor, went in for surgery yesterday to remove a kidney stone. My dick is too big for the stent string and when I popped a boner last night, it may have dislodged the stent. Ouchies. I have been there brother. Not quite with the donkey dong, but the rest matches. All I can say is I have never in my life been so grateful to be a grower, and 50/50 is very good at taking the mood away when your little brain starts to think about nice soft, wet, warm places. What an unfortunate unfolding of a medical procedure. Oh man, I'm so happy to have an empathetic response. Hugs to you, we'll get through this. It reminded me of my father's story of the time he got a vasectomy. They told him to stay put for a couple of days, but like most dads probably said at some point, no doctor will tell me what to do. I feel fine and went to work. He is a lumberjack and at some point he had to go waist deep in the water in springtime. He told me that when the cold water reached his groin it felt as if his inside were ripped out. Then he stayed put for a day or two. Your father is fortunate nothing far worse occurred. The forest is a dirty place, the risk of infection is severe. Luckily I'm off work until mid-April, so I have a lot of recovery time before heading back into the forest. Similar funny not funny story. Thanks for sharing. I hope your father learned a valuable lesson about listening to the advice of professionals. LPT, flex your leg muscles and any other muscle you can add hard as you can to get rid of an unwanted erection. This post is already enough of a flex. Cannot relate at all to having a penis, and this was still empathetically painful to read. Hurry up and I hope your junk gets better soon. Thank you, kind stranger. The urine flow has returned, things are looking up. Thumbs up. Let me just read this one. Today I fucked up before my morning wank. Famous last words frown. Oh no. My goal was not to mess with your wank, but bring you cringe laughter. My apologies, stranger. Hey, you finished the job after a more suitable today I fucked up. Today I fucked up by trying to raise money to help fight kids with cancer. This didn't happen today. This happened around 13 years ago. Back in high school, I ended up getting my first job at a fast food burger restaurant as a cashier/drive-through person. There are a whole lot of messed up things I can tell you about working fast food, but this is the story that I remember most vividly since it directly happened to me. It was a Saturday during the summer. My store, which has sadly closed down since then, was on a highway leading to and from a popular beach in the area. We were the first fast food restaurants that people encountered on the drive home from the beach, so we naturally did a lot of business during the summer. On this particular day, I was put on drive-through. When you work drive-through, you have to wear a headset to communicate with vehicles trying to order food, make sure the food is prepared, bag all of the food, complete the transaction of cash and fast food, and try to get the vehicle to leave as fast as possible in order to complete everything under 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Naturally, things can get pretty busy and hectic, but I had been working drive-through for a couple months now at this point that I could pretty much do everything on autopilot without thinking too hard. At this period in time, The store franchise was working with the Jimmy Fund and was accepting $1 donations to this charity. After taking every single order, we had to say the following phrase: "Would you like to donate $1 to help kids fight cancer?" Pretty simple, right? On this particular day, a fellow co-worker was stationed on drive-through with me, and my manager also had a headset on to assist when necessary. It was around 4 p.m. and I was about 4 hours into shift and my autopilot was in full gear. I was barely paying attention to the words I was saying since the job can get mind-numbingly boring by this point. The next vehicle comes up and gives me their order. As per usual, I deliver the Jimmy Fund question, but for one reason or another, it came out as, "Would you like to donate $1 to help fight kids with cancer?" It's funny how a simple switch of two words in a sentence can drastically alter the meaning of that. I didn't realize what I said, and neither did the customer, or did he? As he happily donated $1. As the vehicle pulls up to the window, I turn to my right to see my co-worker by the fry station and my manager at the front cashier staring at me with their mouth agape. They heard everything. Blissfully unaware that I just raised money for the brand new cause of fighting kids with cancer, I let out a sheepish "What's wrong?" They explained what I said. I was embarrassed to say the least, but luckily, people don't take things too seriously in the fast food business, so after I explained that my high school brain just kind of pooped itself, we laughed about my blunder and just continued on with the day. After this little incident, I definitely watch my words a bit more closely now. TL, doctor, worked fast food and needed to raise money for charity. Asked a customer to support the cause of fighting kids with cancer and got looks of horror from my co-worker and manager. Today I fucked up by parking improperly and stinking up my car. For some background, where I live there has been a big problem with public parking recently. Too many people, too few parking spaces. But wheel boots aren't used here, unlike in America where I used to live. And on city streets, the cars are parked too close together for you to be towed. You also can't get your license suspended for parking violations. The worst that happens is you get a fine, which to me isn't much money, and they often don't even catch you to give you the fine. I guess the sentiment is common, since unauthorized parking is pretty common. Well, I guess the city had been getting complaints or they had enough, because a while ago after I got my 5th parking ticket, I got a note on the car along with the ticket saying that traffic enforcement would apply, what literally translated to ferret scent. Bink scent/musk to my car, the next time it was parked improperly. I had no clue if I should take that literally or even if my translation was right, but I didn't think much of it. I avoided parking in unauthorized places for a while, but I did so one day a couple months later when running a bit late for work and got away with it. So I did it again the next week, and then again a couple weeks later, and that time I came back to find the familiar ticket on my windshield. No big deal, I thought, until I got inside and turned the engine on, and then this smell hit me. I've never smelled anything like it before. I still don't even know how to describe it. The closest I can think would be the smell of the zoo, but it was way stronger than that. Maybe someone who's been around ferrets can put it into words better for me. But it was awful and overwhelming, and seemed to get worse as I drove home. Since then, I've tried just about everything I can think of to remove it, and it's faded a decent amount, but there's still a faint smell. Too long didn't read, unauthorized parking one too many times, car now smells like a dirty ferret cage.